Hello everybody, it is your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the peninsula in Virginia. And how are we on this new calendar year? I hope everyone celebrated responsibly and that we're all ready to delve into this new fiscal year or new calendar year. I have a total of 1,650 projects on the books to get done this year. Everything from donations to commissions. And this is the commissions that I have thus far. This is not the commissions that may be coming through. So far I have completed 2 items. So I currently have 1,648. This one I started this morning. I really have not invested a great deal of time in it today, but I can tell you that it will be finished tonight. It is a simple cowl. It's more like a turtleneck. My grandkids don't have any face coverings when they wear their coats and they get off the bus and step into that cold air. And I wanted something that they could just pull over their heads and it would protect their neck and their face. So, being that I love the turtleneck concept, I decided I was going to make them scarves with hats. But they have hoods on all of their coats. And it just seemed to go against, what I wanted, or even what they needed. If this were Alaska, if it were one of the northern states where it gets extremely, extremely cold, or even the Midwestern states that get extremely cold, then that would be ideal. But this is Virginia. Okay. There was a breeze out there today and it was a little nippy, but that was it. It was a little nippy on January 1st. So if we were constantly getting temperatures like below zero, oh, trust me, they would be crocheted up. Is the shrimp okay? Huh? Hold on one moment, y'all, please. I am sorry about that. We were putting in our orders for dinner. Y'all, I have to tell you all, or I have to reiterate, that my daughter is a dynamic cook. And her son, my grandson, loves to cook as well. Let me tell you about this little 6-year-old grown man. When I tell y'all, stewed potatoes, green beans, and barbecue chicken, yes. Yes, absolutely. So back to the business at hand. I even forgot what it was before I started. So let's see. There's like a lot I want to say, but I don't want to take up a lot of your day, a lot of your time. Keeping it real simple and short. A lot of plans for this year. More tutorials. Story time. I'm actually working on a couple of stories. I don't think they're going to come into fruition until the middle of the month. What I want to do is song lyrics into stories. I have a couple of song lyrics in mind, and it'll be presented like a crochet along. Just whatever you're working on, bring it in the room, and I'll tell you a short story that I've written based on song lyrics. I will give you the link to the song lyrics so you can check them out, and the performer and the writer. And I will not be copying the song lyrics, but the reference will be so strong you might be able to figure out what song I'm talking about, and if it came from a movie, then what movie I'm speaking of. As I told you, my musical background is eclectic, so you might get gospel, you might get Christian, you might get country and western, you might get pop, you might get R&B, you might get rap, you might get heavy metal. I love music. I love music. I have a list of songs, but these two just really popped out at me. And the one that popped out to me yesterday, I was like, oh, and I have wanted to write a play based on this movie since I first heard that song. And of course I didn't do it. But yeah, that way I can get back into my writing. I can share with you guys. I am looking at doing story times on Friday afternoons. Now you guys have to get with me and let me know if you prefer that it be alive, because I really want to just record the video and read it to you guys, and it just be something that you can put on and crochet to, you know. Might have some cute little pictures in the background. I'm learning with the editing, thanks to Auntie Froggy. And yeah, so we're going to see what we can come up with as far as that's concerned. Now, there is another item that I wanted to address. I recently got a question that I have been asked before, but I get the opportunity to share the answer with all of you. Even though I answered those individuals personally, I wanted to, because I'm sure they're not the only people that had that question. And the question is, being legally deaf, how do I speak so well? Why don't I talk like most deaf people? Well, there are two reasons. I sustained a head injury when I was 6 years old, and it left me without 80% of my hearing in one ear and 70% of my hearing in another ear. And it also left me in a coma and paralyzed. I am a fighter. I was told if I came out of the coma, my mother was told, if I came out of the coma, I was going to be a vegetable. You think it's broccoli or cauliflower or eggplant? No, not eggplant. I think I'm more of a fruit. I think I'm more of a peach. But at any rate, God pulled me through that. My hearing is what you call nerve deafness. Not tone deafness, but nerve deafness. Nerve deafness, it happens when audio sounds wobbled. You can hear pitches, you can hear sounds, but when people talk, like the word blue sounds like boo. Witchery sounds like wary. So, being that I was 6 years old when this happened, and I'm the daughter and niece of a school teacher and very educated people in my family who had me speaking on a higher level at the age of 6, we tried to push, my mother tried to push for me to start school early. I graduated early. So if that gives you any indication of what I'm saying right now, what I'm saying is that I already was at a higher level than my age in speaking. And also, with me being 6 years old, I was at a teachable age. So the lessons that I had to go through to get to where I am now, I was more easily taught being young. If I were, say, 13, 14 when this happened, I may have been a little more rebellious against learning. And I, may have developed what I refer to as a lazy way of speaking. I know what the words look like on paper. I was at the point in school where we were learning phonetics, we were learning syllables, those types of things. So I know what words should sound like when I see them. I was already sounding out words. I was in the 2nd grade reading on the 6th grade level. And so I knew what words sounded like. I knew what they were supposed to sound like when they came out. So when people would talk to me and their words wouldn't make sense, I learned to lip read. When I really started getting into lip reading was when I dated a deaf individual named Major when I was in college or trade school. And he told me how to focus on people's lips more than their hands for signing. I don't read sign as quickly as I should, but I read lips very well. And I can hear voice inflections. When people talk, especially when they talk fast, they sound like a person whispering underwater. I guess that's the best way to put it. And if one person is talking to me, which I prefer, or if I'm in a moderate crowd, if I can focus on one person, I'm good. But when other entities come in and take that focus away, I can't hear anybody. Everybody sounds like they're talking jum 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 jum. They all start sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher. And it's something that I have tried to work with over the years. I got up to one point, having 3 children, learning to hear at least 2 at a time. But it would get so frustrating at some points. I was like, hey, everybody stop. Now, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? And, they just thought it was confusion of the kids talking so much. No, it was that I literally could not hear them once the other person started talking. And I think that anytime somebody is saying something to me, it's important. And I want to hear what a person has to say. What I am running into now, along with dealing with the nerve deafness, is aging. And the hearing but because I've done so much to strengthen what I have, I'm not as far gone as they thought I would be. I was actually at 80 and 82% at one point. The 80 has remained the same, but I had lost 82% of my hearing here, which I've gained 12% because I fought hard to try to, get back. But I'm still below the norm, and I am supposed to wear hearing aids, but when I put them in, they don't understand. It's hard to find hearing aids to manage or facilitate nerve deafness. The cochlear devices I'm dubious about those because of the experience I've had with the hearing aids. First of all, hearing aids break very easily. Secondly of all, you hear things that you really don't want to hear. And what I was hearing was the constant sound of slowly crashing waves against the shore. It was just constant, but not static. You know, it sounded like I was outside on the beach, and all I'm hearing is this wind and waves. Because every time I would step, or every time my heart would beat, I'm hearing that pulse. So it sounded more like kind of like an ultrasound sounds. The baby's heart beating an ultrasound. When you get that, that's what it sounds like to me with those hearing aids. And imagine that in your head all day long. No, thank you. You know, and what I would do was I would turn the volume down, but then it turns down the volume of what people are saying. So then everybody sounds like they're really whispering. So then when I turn the volume up, when people are not talking, which I can hear people better, but it's like when there's no person around, or I'm not listening to music or trying to hear TV, then it's constant. And it was driving me crazy. So I stopped with the hearing aids. As a matter of fact, I'll hold tight. Okay, I'm back. And I'm back with hearing aids. I'll do this one. It's easier to get in and out. These are my devices. I have one for each ear. They're practically invisible when I put them in. Do I hear better? I hear voices better. People don't have to talk as loud, and it is better for me. But like I said, I feel like I'm walking along the beach and all I hear is the shallow waves resting or crashing against the shore slightly, and that hum. It's kind of irritating after a while. It's kind of refreshing when you first put them on and you're hearing things. I turned the TV volume up, and well, I had muted it, but I took the mute off, and I'm like, that's loud. So I turned it down. I don't know if I'm talking softer or not. I have always tended to try to control my volume in talking, as most of the people that I was around who were hearing impaired tended to yell. And the thing was that, you know, the answer you get is, I can't hear myself when I talk. Well, I can hear myself, and I sound just as wobbled as everybody else. It's like putting your, okay, I guess the best way I can say it is put your hands over your ears and try to talk on a very low tone. You know, kind of like covering your ears up and saying something really soft. You can't hear the finer points of the words, but you can hear the words. And it sounds that way all the time to me when other people talk, unless I have these in. Then I can hear the crispness of the words. My very first experience with hearing aids came in, I want to say 2007. It was either 2006 or 2007. I started at 7-Eleven in January of 2006. So it had to be 2006, because it took me 6 months to go from a sales clerk to an assistant manager. And right as I became an assistant manager, I got my hearing aids, my first set of hearing aids. And it was beautiful, because my manager and the other senior sales associate went with me, and when they put the hearing aids in my ears, I was like, I can hear. And my manager said my whole face just lit up. And she was talking to me from the other room, and I could hear what she was saying. And she was, I don't know who was crying harder, me or her. Yeah, but it was a moment. It really was. And that was the first set of hearing aids I had. They were a lot more tender, I guess I should say, than these. These are built a little more for a rugged person like me. But there's the hissing. The first ones I had, they went inside your ear, was completely inside your ear. These, just the little ball here goes in your ear. It's like a clear little wire that goes around, and this is your amplifier here. And I'm through Octicon, I believe is the name of it. OCTI Con. Trying to see if I can pull it up, because I can control my volume through my phone. So anytime I'm somewhere that I don't need everything to be quite as loud, excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me see, health. Oticon. It's not OC, it's OTICON. Oticon. Yeah. So yeah, that's the little story of how I'm able to speak so well. My mother was a health and physical education instructor. She also taught first aid, and she taught driver's ed and behind the wheel. My mother was very meticulous about me learning how to speak properly. My mother would correct her worst enemy's speech if it wasn't right. I was not allowed to say get. I had to say get. Some people are like, what's the difference? To my mother, it was a huge difference. I wasn't allowed to say this. I had to say this. So that's the background. And it's another thing I don't like about these. They slide out of your ears very easily. And I've played with sizes to get them to stay. I think that's another reason I don't wear them. My daughter's going to be shocked if she comes in here and she sees these in my ears. They've not been in my ears in months. But I wanted to share that with you guys and answer that question. And in case other people had the same question, now you have the answer. I am not going to hold you guys up forever. There is another video scheduled to drop tomorrow for the video 2 for ASL. And then you'll be getting those on Mondays and Thursdays. So then there'll be another one after that on Monday, and then next Thursday. And yeah. So we're going to do this ASL thing together. We're going to get it done. And we're going to be able to communicate with each other. Okay? So, I think that I've covered everything. Oh, we managed to close out 2024 with 320 subscriptions. Thank you to each and every one of you. I am so happy. I really am. I was pushing for 325, but hey, 320 is phenomenal. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. Think about it. I started in April, and I know there's some who have gotten out here and they've reached that 1,000, 2,000, so forth and so on, and gotten up there. But when I started out, I was like, you know what? I'll be great if I get one a day. And guys, we have 320. 320. That's 80 more than predicted. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And yes, I want to reach that 500 mark by the anniversary date, which again is April 27th. And because I'd like to become monetized. But I've got more crocheting to do. I've got more studying to do. I've got more writing to do. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you all and teaching you all the little bit that I know, and helping keeping you guys inspired as you have done for me. And we will travel through this 365 days together until we see each other again. Don't forget to love yourselves, because that is the greatest love of all. And you cannot love others the way they deserve to be loved unless you first love yourself the way you deserve to be loved, and you deserve the best. Okay? And knowing all of that deserving and loving, that I love you too. So until we see each other again. See that I finished off that row. Peace out, everybody.